Hey guys, what's going on? I just figured I'd make another vlog since it's been around a week or so since I've made one. So this will be STI vlog number 4. And I think today I'm going to talk about something different besides just the car. But I'm still calling it an STI vlog because I'm still in the STI. Oh, this intersection sucks. There's construction in both directions. It's down to one lane and you can't see and people tend to speed through here to the point where you can't see them until it's almost too late, which is awesome. Anyways, so since I was a little kid, I've always liked watching cartoons. Specifically Japanese cartoons. I don't know, something about the style of them I've always found fascinating. Maybe it's the fact that they have more detail than most American cartoons. Most, not all. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm hating on American cartoons, because there's nothing wrong with them. It's just a personal preference. Anyways, I've always, I guess, liked the style of them. I like the type of animation, although one could argue, at least in older cartoons, the animation, there wasn't much, but I don't know, something about the overall way that they were put together has always fascinated me. And as a kid, of course, the only ones I had access to were the ones that were on television here in the US, and those were all dubbed in English, which at the time I didn't really think or care much about. I just watched them because I liked watching them. And then, somewhere while I was in middle school, I discovered the original Japanese cartoons. My school had a couple of them available, to be able to rent from the library or borrow from the library. And I met some people that were big into them, even bigger into them than I was at the time. And they let me borrow some of their, I'm dating myself here, but some of their VHS tapes as well. What that meant was I got my first look into the Japanese language as a whole. And I thought that it sounded so awesome at the time because it was so much different from English. Just the way that words are pronunciated, that's not a word. I thought it was so different from English, and I mean it really is, but it was so different from anything that I'd ever heard because of the way that things are pronounced and because of the way that they're enunciated and the way that they speak. I realize now, of course, that anime isn't how people talk to each other in day-to-day life, and I get that. But at the time, it was almost a culture shock to listen to, and it was in a good way, though. I really enjoyed listening to the Japanese voices, and at that point I kind of wasn't really able to listen to just the English dubs anymore after that. I didn't find that they really fit in most cases. Now there are some out there that have really good English dubs, but even now I still prefer the original Japanese voices. For some reason they just seem to fit better in my mind. So what I'm getting at here is it really made me want to learn the Japanese language. I mean, I wanted to learn it for other reasons. At the time, I was, basically had just really started getting into programming, and I figured that it would be really neat to, work overseas at some point, or, work around the world programming, and I still want to do that at some point. Even if it's only, on a temporary basis, something like that. But it opened my eyes to the fact that there's so much other content around the world that's not even available here, that you can't even get here easily. Anyways, the internet's made things a lot easier to get in recent years, but it really just opened my eyes to all the other stuff that's out there. So I kind of dabbled with it a little bit back in middle and high school, but I never was really too serious about it. I basically learned a couple of short sentences and some curse words, just like, most kids do. And you just walk around parroting baka, 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 baka all over the place. So about 2 years after graduating college, I decided that I wanted to get a little bit more serious about it. And I wanted to actually give it a real shot to learn the language. And so I did. And around, I think it was maybe February or March of 2011, I started looking up Japanese websites and started doing my research and collecting information on how I wanted to learn Japanese. And I found a couple of really awesome sites, and I started my own site with my experiences in learning Japanese. And I'm going to put a link to some of those things down in the description so you guys can check it out if you want. But basically, I started teaching myself Japanese. I started by learning the writing system and the different sets of scripts that were involved in the writing system and basic pronunciation of all the Japanese sounds, which there aren't that many. So that was easy. And I really just started kind of building my Japanese portfolio, if you will, on my own. Good God, my windshield's dirty. Oh, that's better. Wow. Okay. So anyways, I started building up my Japanese knowledge kind of on my own and through some of the research that I had done online. And, I'd found a couple places where I could write out journal entries and stuff and have native Japanese speakers look at them, and in return you would sort of edit some in English for some of the Japanese people or people of other languages trying to learn English. So I did that for a bit, and if I'm honest, I did that for about 2 years. But the problem I ran into was motivation. Now, I had the motivation of wanting to learn Japanese because I wanted to understand Japanese TV, not just anime, but I wanted to be able to read it, write it, speak it, so that I could maybe at some point even become a translator, like a technical translator, or maybe somebody who worked as a liaison, technical liaison between, say, Japanese and an American video game branches or something like that. A company like Square Enix, for instance, who needed somebody who understood both sides of the fence, as it were. The problem became when I was trying to study on my own, and I didn't really have anybody to study with. Now, an issue that I've always had, at least in the past, was keeping motivated if I'm just doing something by myself. Sometimes is very, very difficult. Some people don't have an issue with it. I tend to have an issue with it because, well, I don't know. I mean, I just find it more interesting if there are other people interested in studying what I'm studying, and it sort of becomes a snowball effect. You guys sort of feed off of each other's skills and make each other's skills better, and it just, everybody gets better at the same time, and I've always really sort of liked that dynamic. So there were some other events that came up in my life, late 2013-ish, that made it very difficult for me to continue my Japanese studies, only because I really didn't have the time that I should be dedicating to it. Now, I realized that even 5 minutes a day would have been better, and I'll be completely honest, like, I 100% blame myself, and I fell off the wagon there. So, I fell off the wagon in my Japanese studies, and it just completely dropped the ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And to this point, I haven't really recovered. I've kind of done a little studying here and there on my own for, and it lasted for a couple of weeks, and then I'd sort of drop it again. And the reason was the same all the time, is because I didn't really have anybody to bounce things off of. And part of that's been my fault too, because in the past I had a couple of people tell me, hey, I'll help you learn Japanese, and I just never took them up on it, and I should have, and that was dumb. So, versus being dumb, now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and do something constructive, and utilize one of the most recent opportunities that's come my way. Holy crap, there's a lot of smoke over there at the dealership. What is going on over there? Woo! There's a lot of smoke coming out of that truck. That's not good. So, what is that opportunity, you might ask? Well, the opportunity basically is there are a group of people at my new job who are all interested in learning Japanese. Now, a couple of them I am more advanced than, and a couple of them I'm not. So I've kind of fit right in the middle, which is perfect for me, because I would not want to be the one who knows the most about the topic, per se, because it would take a while before I actually would learn anything back. Which I know sounds kind of selfish, but it helps with that whole motivation factor thing. So basically the deal is this. There's about 4 people at my work who want to learn Japanese. One of whom, his girlfriend is actually is Japanese from Japan, and so he's had that motivation for learning Japanese. And he, I guess, has picked up. I haven't really talked with him in depth about it yet, but I guess he's picked up quite a bit, and he's doing quite well with it. So I want to have a conversation with him, but we've all been talking about sort of starting up a language club and just sort of studying Japanese together, maybe 1 or 2 days a week after work or something like that. What I'm thinking is this could be a really awesome opportunity for all of us to learn and have some fun, and it'd be a great opportunity for me to grow my skills in the Japanese language, which I've been looking to do for, well, if I'm honest, I've been looking to do that for over a decade. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot and see how it goes. And I figure maybe if it works out a couple months down the road, I might, I'll have a decent little update for you guys, and maybe speak a little Japanese on camera and things like that. And it's made me think that maybe I can get my website updated again and start posting updates there as well, and maybe even make some videos here on my experiences learning Japanese. Now, I'd actually done that on a separate channel a while ago, and I'm going to kind of review some of those, and I might repost some of them here and edit them down if they're any good, or if they're not, I might just rubbish them all together. I think once I get a couple months down the road and kind of get restarted and learning my Japanese, I should have some decent updates to post here for you guys. So with that said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this here, and in the near future I'll be posting more updates about this topic. If you guys like this video and you want to see more about it, or you want to see more about learning Japanese, please let me know in the comments below. If you like my videos so far and you want me to keep making more and come up with new content, please subscribe. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. That's a fantastic time to cut the road open during rush hour. Hey guys, I have an idea. Let's just cut the road open during rush hour. We'll just block off the center lane of a super busy road, and we'll just start cutting it for no reason. Yeah, let's do it.